Good morning, community. Morning, morning. Community both here in the sanctuary and online. This month, as we reflect on joy, I've been thinking about an unexpected source of deep joy in my life, my cat, Naomi. My daughter, Alicia, and I adopted Naomi in May of 2018 from a rescue organization at our local PetSmart. At the time, she was around 8 months old, missing a fang and carrying 2 BBs in her body, signs of a difficult and possible painful kittenhood. From the moment we brought her home, Naomi made it clear she wasn't sure she could trust us. She tried to escape, kept her distance, and watched us warily. We didn't know each other yet, but Alicia and I loved her anyway. For over a year, Naomi stayed distant, but slowly, softly, she began to trust. She started laying on my bed, letting me pet her a little longer, curling up in my lap with increasing comfort and frequency. And now, Naomi has become a companion of joy. She greets me at the door when I come home. She doesn't run away. She purrs with abandon. She shows up in my dreams all the time. She is happy and she brings me happiness in return. I call Naomi my beautiful bumblebee because, yes, she occasionally lets me dress her up as one. This little kitty, my house lion, once so wary, now fills our home with sweetness. She reminds me every day that love takes time, that trust is a quiet unfolding, and that joy, true joy, is often found in the patience and persistent act of loving and being loved in return. Naomi is my joyful companion. She is a blessing, blessed in this congregation, in this community that welcomes all beings with love. She makes my heart smile. My kitty Naomi is a reminder that joy doesn't always arrive with fanfare. It sometimes creeps across the couch and curls up in your lap when you are trying to write your call to worship. Come, let us worship together.
Good morning. And Hag Pesach Sameach, happy Passover to all who are celebrating. Welcome to our annual Earth Day and Green Living celebration, which begins with this service, but then continues with a vegan and vegetarian potluck and our Green Living Fair in Forbes Hall and out in the courtyard following the service. We're celebrating Earth Day a week early this year, since next Sunday is also Easter. I'm the Reverend Jeremiah Lal Shabazz Calendé, and I serve this beautiful congregation as its developmental minister. I'm joined on the chancel this morning by my esteemed colleagues, Worship Associate Dr. Susan Hendricks, Director of Multi-Generational Religious Education, Jessica Tenhave Place, Choral Section Leaders, Kian Haydari, Thalia Moore, Eric David Peterson, and we have a special sub this morning who I forgot to introduce last week, Katya Lynch. It's not... The order of service is wrong, excuse me. And Ryan on piano. A special thank you to our family ministry team and leaders who support our young people's liberal religious education and spiritual thriving each week. I know we are all grateful. The Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Santa Monica is a contemporary congregation with roots deep in the centuries-old traditions of Unitarian Universalism. We are an open and affirming congregation celebrating LGBTIAQ+ members and friends, working for justice for Black, Indigenous, and people of color communities, towards full inclusion of those living with disabilities, as well as protecting our precious planet home and all of its inhabitants. We draw upon sacred, secular, and scientific sources in our liberal tradition, and we welcome spiritual beliefs from all of the world's religions and from humanistic, atheistic, and agnostic wisdom as well. Now, if this is your first time joining us, or you're still new to our congregation, we offer a special welcome and hope you'll take time not only to join us for our Green Living Fair and to have some coffee and tea after the service, but also check out our beautiful website, and you can sign up at our visitors table for our weekly announcements, which are sent by email on Thursdays. Now, as we begin, we would like to acknowledge that we gather upon the sacred lands, near the life-giving waters, and beneath the beautiful sky of indigenous people. This is the traditional home of the Tongva, Gabrielino, Keys, Ventureno, Fernandino, Tatvaviam, and Chumash tribes. We remember the painful histories of these lands and continue our commitments to justice and sovereignty for indigenous people. I light our flaming chalice this morning with "We Hear the Heartbeat of Mother Earth" from Lifting Our Voices by Ade Ama Graba. As we gather to celebrate the season of birth and rebirth, we hear the heartbeat of Mother Earth. With spring comes the blossoming of plants and emerging patterns of life. We hear the heartbeat of Mother Earth. In this time of growth and reflection, let us draw closer to nature and to each other. We hear the heartbeat of Mother Earth. In the continuing circle of life, giving thanks, we hear the heartbeat of Mother Earth. Now let us rise in body or spirit and sing our opening hymn, number 1067, in the teal hymnal, Mother Earth, Beloved Garden. And then please remain standing for our covenant and hymn of praise.
Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, thus do we covenant with each other. El amor es la enseñanza de esta iglesia. Buscar la verdad es su sacramento y el servicio es la oración. Vivir juntos en paz, buscar el conocimiento en la libertad, servir a la humanidad en comunión, así es como convenimos unos a otros. I would like to invite Barbara Kernigan up to the chancel to offer this morning's This is the Moment Stewardship Testimonial.
Good morning. I'm also ushering this morning, so I almost gave away my script a couple of times already this morning. I don't know. Could have been a little bit of a disaster. I do have to pinch myself in amazement that as my years here pile up, the joy and the love that I feel in this place and for the people that I meet here in fellowship and the work we undertake together only continues to grow with each new season. Much has changed over the 40-odd years that I've been walking through these doors. The name has changed. All our music used to come from that gray hymnal you see collecting dust in the pews. Now we have 2 additional hymnals, and our music is projected on the screen anyway every morning. And believe it or not, we're learning how to sing in Spanish. My kids are grown and gone, but this was one of the really important places that helped them soar into meaningful lives, and I'm proud to say that they have meaningful lives. But now I see other young children finding their voices and growing by strides, and our coming of agers becoming the heroes of their own lives. I wish every child in the world had that opportunity. We used to be a large generation when I first came here, quite large, and then a smaller one. And now our congregation, now that our congregation is growing again, we are called again and again to connection and love and joy. These good things remain over the decades. I find them here every Sunday, so I give joyfully of my time and my talents, as do all of you. The congregation continues to work for the health of our planet, for equal opportunity, human rights, for justice, and I'm very proud to be part of this work. But to keep this place humming, we keep doing all the good things we do. It takes the gift of money, too. We are so fortunate in finding excellent staff members, our administrator to run the busy office, so fortunate in our dedicated RE staff working with children and youth, so very fortunate in our music director, accompanist, and section leaders. They're all part of our UUSM family, and we want to keep them doing what they do so well. And soon we will launch our search for a settled minister, someone who will be a great match for this great congregation. Most of this effort falls on the shoulders of the search committee, but it also needs our dollars. So I'm going to make my most generous pledge this year, and I urge you to dig deep as well. This can be a transformative moment for our community even with the tremendous uncertainties in our nation and in the world. There's a single line on your pledge form to offer a one-time donation in addition to your pledge. A number of smaller donations and a few consequential heritage gifts could really make all the difference this year. So pick up your pledge packet today if you haven't already, and please consider your responses very thoughtfully. This is the moment to recognize and appreciate all the good things that we already find here and that we wish for in the critical year ahead. Thank you, and enjoy the morning service.
Thank you so much, Barbara. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Jessica Place, and I am the Director of Multi-Generational Religious Education here. And at this time, we'd like to get some help from our kids to collect donations for the Westside Food Bank. So if you have a donation with you here today, please raise your hand, and one of our helpful friends over here will come pick up your donation. Thank you so much for your generous gifts to the Westside Food Bank. They do so much important work in our community. You got it? Can you guys see if anybody else has donations to bring? Yeah, you can get cans from this lady. Yeah, things like soup, beans, and rice, those sort of shelf-stable items always make great donations and are something that our neighbors really need. Thank you. Yeah, we can leave all the things there in the box. And then as we're done putting our donations up here, then you can, our younger friends or the young at heart, all are welcome to join us up on the steps. Thank you, Ellie. I like your dinosaur shirt too. If you would like to have one of the beautiful flower crowns that I'm modeling today, I hope that you're planning to stick around for the Green Living Fair after the service, because in addition to a bomb vegan potluck, lots of things you can learn about having a more sustainable life, we're going to be doing some very fun all-ages activities for the kids and everyone else to join in with us, including making our flower crowns. Thank you, everyone. I'm so glad we have lots of donations. Good job, Alex. Thank you very much. Okay, and it's okay to just leave them around the basket if we have a lot. That's always a good problem to have, too many things to fit into our basket. Okay, so I'm going to stay up here for our time for all ages because I'm going to need to use my hands and talk into the microphone at the same time. But everyone can sit on the steps where they can see me. And this is a great season for all of the world religious holidays to be sort of overlapping each other. And today is also Palm Sunday in the Christian tradition, when Jesus arrived in Jerusalem and all of his followers celebrated by waving palms. And they were all so happy and saying, Hosanna, and crying out for the liberation of their people and for peace on earth. But when the authorities heard them doing that, they said, Jesus, you got to get these people to be quiet. But do you know what he said? He said, if they are silent, the very rocks will cry out. And so that was just one of the moments when Jesus was saying that nature speaks to us, right? That the nature will call out if we're silent about injustice. Jesus also told his followers to listen to and look at the lilies of the field or the birds of the air to learn. And he's just one of the many great religious teachers who told us to pay attention to nature and the wisdom we can receive from it. So I want to do a little imagination experiment with everyone. Because here in Los Angeles, where we often hear things like, traffic, helicopters, construction sites, we might not always be listening closely to nature. So what we're going to do today is we're going to close our eyes, invitation to close your eyes if you'd like to. Take a deep breath. Everything that's buzzing around in your mind, any worries or distractions, just take a deep breath in and sigh out those distractions. Now we can begin to listen. Let's imagine we're in a quiet place outside, somewhere peaceful in nature. You can feel the warmth of the sun and the gentle breeze. Then you hear the birds begin to sing. Wonder what the birds are talking about. Maybe they're telling each other that a storm might be coming, because as you take another deep breath and listen some more, you start to hear raindrops falling in the distance. The more we practice sitting in silence in nature, we might hear even quieter sounds. Maybe you hear the little bugs crawling along the earth, or the squirrels talking to each other in the trees. There's so many things that are alive in nature that we can hear from, even if they're not making sounds. Maybe even the spiders. Yeah, that's a good idea, Emerson. Yeah, spiders catching a mosquito in their web. That's a great thing that spiders do for us, right? Maybe you even hear a rattlesnake in the grass. So let's take one more deep breath together. And knowing that you can return to this nature place in your imagination whenever you want, you can gently open your eyes if you had them closed and come back to where we are. So I'm excited because in our RE lesson today, we're going to learn more about listening to nature and then have lots of fun activities at our Green Living Fair afterwards. So I hope everyone will join us. But for now, let's sing our way out. You guys ready?
Greetings again. I am Dr. Susan Hendricks, and I am delighted to be serving as your worship associate today. At this time, please be sure to silence your cell phones. So here are some announcements. The Pacific Southwest Service Area Annual Assembly is April 25th, 26th, and 27th at the First UU Church of San Diego. Join UUs and other like-minded individuals for a weekend filled with fascinating keynote speakers, informative workshops, and 5 meals, including the honors banquet and a special tribute to Janet James of Camp de Benneville Pines. Hello, friends. We, the Dining for Dollars Committee, would like to remind you that Dining for Dollars is still going on, and we hope for folks to offer events. Dining for Dollars is UUSM's beloved fundraiser and most successful that brings essential money into our church while giving people the chance to meet in community. From our animal ministry, bring us your monthly pet food donations. Our animal ministry group facilitates your pet food contributions to LA Animal Services, allowing low-income families and individuals experiencing financial hardship who need help feeding their animal companions. Bring your unwanted, unopened cat and dog food or buy some to donate. Wet and dry foods are welcome. If you have done so today, please drop off at the animal ministry table today at the Green Living Celebration and Vegan Potluck. Eat green, act green, and go green at the UUSM Green Living Fair today, Sunday, April 13th, from 11:30 to 1:30. Browse the Green Living Fair tables to get lots of ideas on how to make your home, family, neighborhood, and planet healthy and sustainable. Healthy food, gardening, green home upgrades, green transportation and mobilization, or climate action. There are plenty of ideas and delicious food to enjoy and discuss. On Sunday, the 20th, from 12 to 1 p.m., kids in preschool through grade 5 are invited to stick around after church for an Easter egg hunt featuring games, treats, and prizes. Youth are welcome to help hide eggs. Please contact Jessica if you are interested in volunteering. Now, it's almost that time to greet your neighbors, so before doing so, please remember to listen for Ryan's piano cue to worship, which we will then follow with our music for the morning. Let's now take a few moments to say hello and greet those around you who you're both familiar and new with.
Let us find our sacred center to dwell more deeply in these, our moments for spiritual practice. We begin by returning to our awareness of our breathing, allowing each breath to expand the spaciousness within. Each inhalation opening us to receive the air that we share with each other and with the heavens. Each exhalation reminding us of the rhythms of our connections to all breathing life and the atmosphere that encircles our planet home. Allow yourself to feel each breath's connection to the beating of your heart. Each inhalation filling our hearts with the greening powers of life. Each exhalation releasing what is dry, worn, or tense within. Breathing like this, we are aware of our beating hearts and connected to the many and varied rhythms of life. We dwell in our sacred center, and we are home. Our mindfulness meditation this morning is The Days of Too Many Flowers by the Reverend Tess Baumberger. We all have those days of no flowers, just weeds. You know the kind I mean. The days when the trials and tribulations seem most present. The days when the commitments we make exceed the time we meant to give. And yet it is all such good work and there's more to do. The days when someone is snarky and we snark right back. The days of our own mistakes that we cannot admit to ourselves. The days of criticism we take too much to heart, ignoring all previous and future praise. The days when we cannot summon compassion for those who push our buttons, no matter how hard we try to do so. We all know those days of no flowers in our life, when the weeds rise up and seem to choke out the beauty. Let us pause and breathe. Then there are days of more flowers than the vases can hold. You know those days, the days of fun and productivity, where creativity is queen in loving and thoughtful ways. Days when everything flows. The days when people treat one another gently. Even when someone is snarky, even if it is you. When a thoughtful silence wraps you and them in a holy moment of connection. The days when you can take criticism with a grain of salt and praise and positive feedback with a thankful and open hand. The days when exactly the right word or action occurs to you at exactly the right moment, and you think it or say it or do it, and you witness something opening up inside you, or in another person, or in the garden spaces between you. These are the days of too many flowers for any vase to hold. May this be a day of too many flowers for you. And in the coming weeks and months, may such days grow in number and frequency for each of us. And may we rejoice in the abundance of our blessings. Let us meditate together this morning listening again to the heartbeat of Mother Earth. What if you woke up every day and knew you were living in paradise? Each sunrise bursting with vibrant colors on the horizon was another invitation to remember the holiness of the dirt beneath your feet, to hear the choirs of angels in birdsong, to feel the Spirit in the gentle breeze and in your own breath. What if instead of dreaming of an afterlife in heaven, you knew the vast skies overhead to be the heavens encompassing you and all of life? The gentle moonlight and starlight, a blessing descending upon all each evening. What if paradise is here? In the natural world that cradles all beings and delights us with its beautiful diversity and spectacles, its butterflies and bumblebees, daffodils and dandelions are siblings in a heavenly realm. Sometimes I wonder why we spend so much time worrying about the future and so little time immersing ourselves in the moment, even this moment, as an experience of the eternal splendor. Our Universalist ancestors insisted that heaven would include all. And I've often thought that perhaps some dimension of heaven is all around us, and we've simply forgotten this great secret, this great gift that we've been given. What if paradise is ever present in the landscapes of the natural world? Reminders that even in the midst of the stresses and the suffering and the grief of modern life, there is the abiding presence of the sacred and the holy surrounding us. The fields, forests, seas, and skies give birth to the flourishing of all life. And they are the resting places of our ancestors and the places of our own return. What if you woke up every day and knew you were living in paradise? The world can feel so heavy right now. And human civilization, with all of its problems and contradictions, reminds us of its temporal and fleeting nature. It is in times like these that we can return to an ancient memory of the deep interconnectedness, of our deep interconnectedness with all of being. We are a part of it. The modern world tells us that we're these isolated individuals whose purpose is to follow the scripts of our cultures and economies and religions. But our experiences of nature remind us that we are threads in the interdependent web of all existence. And our purposes cannot be defined separate from the whole web. Our flesh is the flesh of earth. Our breath is of the sky. Our blood is of the waters. Our heartbeats are of the fire. We are the dance of stardust cast out across the universe. We are truly one with Mother Earth beneath us and the cosmos all around us. Our Unitarian Universalist value of interdependence states that we honor the interdependent web of all life. With reverence for the great web of life and with humility, we acknowledge our place in it. Our place, however, is one of honor, as we have been given a great power and a special responsibility to be weavers of the web of all life. We can extract and monetize, clear-cut and pollute, kill and maim, or we can use this great power to fulfill our special responsibility, to protect the earth and all beings from exploitation, as our liberal religious values state. We will create sustainable relationships of care and respect, mutuality and justice, they continue, and we will work to repair harm and damaged relationships. Knowing with deep humility that we have an exalted station in this dazzling web of life should turn our hearts and minds to profound care and compassion for each other, for our planet home, and for all of our furry, feathered, and finned siblings. What if you woke up every day and knew you were living in paradise? What if you remembered with deep humility your exalted station in the great web of life and your great power and responsibility to all life? Do you remember? Our new congregational theme for this springtime month is living love through the practice of joy. With love at the heart of our liberal faith, we've been exploring all year how we might live and embody love through each of our monthly themes. April's theme encourages us to reflect upon the relationship of love and joy, and reminds us that joy is just as much a practice of intention as it is an experience that sometimes comes to us unbidden. It seems to me that love is sustained and deepened through our experiences of joy. Maria Popova offers, in this world heavy with robust reasons for despair, joy is a stubborn courage we must not surrender, a fulcrum of personal power we must not yield to cynicism, blame, or any of the costumes of helplessness. And when the war within rages, as it does in every life, the practice of joy, the courage of joy, becomes our mightiest frontier of resistance. Now, love without joy withers and diminishes our capacities for making the demands of love real in the world. Love with joy expands its reach and enhances our capacities for making the demands of love real in every arena of life. Joy is a practice, though. It's something we can cultivate in our lives by being with the people and the animals and the experiences that make it more likely to manifest. We can attract more joy into our lives by treating it not just as an unbidden surprise that may or may not happen, but as a practice of intention that attracts it in greater measure in our daily lives. Joy is something we can choose as our disposition, allowing it to blossom with greater frequency and with greater regularity until we become filled with it in our embodiment of living love. So how might you welcome more joy into your life in these times so full of despair? I know you may have some sense of what changes might be needed. And I encourage you to give it some thought, especially in these times of despair, as it is indeed one of our mightiest frontiers of resistance to all that we are struggling with in our world right now. I recorded a powerful dream that I had a few weeks ago that speaks to our new theme. As you may know, I have a very active dream life, and sometimes I preach about it, and I study dreams, and I think they can teach us about ourselves and our lives and the spirit. In this dream, I was ascending through this realm of living light that was drawing me to divine presence. But there was a weight to my being, and there were also these currents of spirit that were facilitating my ascent. Now, as I flew onward, I became less heavy and more saturated with the experience of joy. It was as though I was releasing my accumulated sense of self and returning to the field of life that was all around me and inviting me to its sheer bliss. I was taken to some primordial remembering in which I felt the sheer bliss as the background of all existence and as one of the purposes of creation and life. In the dream, I kept thinking to myself, how could I forget something so important and so plainly obvious simply by being so ensconced in the stresses of life? Eventually, I lost all sense of individuality, and I felt like my being had expanded out beyond some vast horizon, becoming the field of living light in which there was perfect contentment and harmony and joy infusing everything. I had entered the divine presence and lost all sense of myself. Then I was jolted back into my embodied awareness, and I awoke in my bed glowing with the elation of all I had just experienced in my dream. In Hindu theology, the divine presence is understood to be Sat Chit Ananda, or infinite being, infinite consciousness, and infinite bliss. All of existence is pervaded by these qualities, and our spirits are its reflections. So if we imagine our beings extended to include all things in existence, from mountains and seas to planets and stars, this would approximate what is meant by infinite being. If we imagine our consciousness not limited to our own self-awareness, but extended to include the consciousness that is throughout existence, from that of eagles and caterpillars, and the awareness of wild flowers and sequoia, that would approximate what is meant by infinite consciousness. Now, imagine joy not simply as being a momentary experience, an unexpected surprise, or a delight in one's life, but as the motivating dimension of all existence, experienced by all creatures in different ways, both great and small. Then we would have some sense of what is meant by infinite bliss. Infinite being, consciousness, and bliss. This is what the sages of old tell us awaits us when we transcend the limitations of our outward egoic selves and remember the infinite spirit within our depths. What if you woke up every day and knew you were living in paradise? What if you remembered with deep humility your exalted station in the great web of life and your great power and responsibility to all life? What if you invited the joys that abound through all of creation to infuse your very being? Living love through the practice of joy encourages us to keep our hearts alive and fresh and renewed with the abundant energies of life. In the mysticism of Hildegard of Bingen, the 12th century Benedictine abbess, composer, and polymath, she wrote frequently of the viritas, or the greening power that flows forth into all of existence as vitality and life itself. Interestingly, I'd note that in the Hindu tradition, the spiritual heart is often depicted as a green light center that infuses our beings. For Hildegard, this greening power that is evident in nature was something we could cultivate within ourselves through our connections to nature and spirit and art and creativity. Matthew Fox, the Episcopal theologian responsible for the development of creation spirituality in our modern day, though our indigenous siblings, we've been doing it for a long time, draws upon Hildegard's work, which understood nature and spirit to be united. He writes, "For Hildegard, this life force is a, quote, living and fiery essence that glows in the beauty of the fields. It speaks to the one who is listening. I shine in the water. I burn in the sun and the moon and the stars. Mine is that mysterious force of the invisible wind. I am the breath of all the living." Hildegard teaches that the only sin in life, I don't get to preach about sin very often. Just want to savor this moment. The only sin in life is drying up. She wrote bishops and abbots telling them they were drying up. That they should do whatever it takes to, quote, stay wet and green and moist and juicy. She creates a category about vice versus virtue. Vice is drying up. Virtue is staying alive, juicy, and creative. Doing justice, making peace is green. Obviously, she feels we're all capable of this. The vigor that hugs the world. It is warm, it is moistening, it is firm, it is greening, says Hildegard, adding, this is so that all creatures might germinate and grow. My hope is that today's Earth Day service and our amazing Green Living Fair and vegan and vegetarian potluck will help us all to experience something of the deep greening of our bodies and our hearts and our spirits, remembering our noble place in the interdependent web of all existence, and the joy that is always available to us, that we may live as though we've awoken in paradise. May it be so. Amen, and blessed be.
I don't know about you all, but I don't plan to dry up, so thank you for that, Jeremiah. Your offerings today go to support the work of multiple groups in the congregation. One such group is the Intersectional Anti-Racism and Anti-Oppression Commission. The work of IARAO invites us to continual reflection and action. It calls us to examine the ways systems of oppression, racism, ableism, sexism, classism, heteronormativity, and more may show up in ourselves, our communities, and our practices, even when unintentional. But IARAO work also calls us into the possibility of transformation, of becoming a congregation where every person in their full humanity is seen, heard, and valued. In addition, half of our Sunday offering will support the Rainforest Action Network, a nonprofit dedicated to protecting both people and the planet. They take bold action to challenge the corporations and industries at the heart of deforestation and climate change. Supporting organizations like Rainforest Action Network reflects our Unitarian Universalist commitment to honoring the interdependent web of all existence, a foundational principle that calls us to care for our earth and all who share it. We invite you to contribute in whatever way feels right for you. Ways to give are displayed on the slide behind me. All the ways of receiving support are gratefully accepted. Cash or checks can be placed in the offertory bags that will be passed around shortly. Thank you for all that you give, monetarily, and also through your time and care in this congregation and beyond. The ushers are invited to come forward. Your offering will now be gratefully received.
Spirit for Blue Boat Home.
May you go in peace. May you go green. May you hold fast to that which is good. And may you return to no person evil for evil, but may you strengthen the faint of heart, support the weak, help the afflicted, honor all beings. May you go forth into this day and be blessed, and may you be blessings. Amen.